A common data environment recognizes the complexity of the information to be created and shared throughout the project phases, right until the operation or the handed over phases. It engages all stakeholders in a collaborative process, and it becomes the unique source of truth for all the stakeholders. All project information and communications, BIM or conventional documents, are stored, collected, managed, and linked together to finally deliver the BIM models and the related information of the digital asset. The key components of a common data environment typically will include the ability to structure the data, the ability to filter the data, the ability to do versioning of the data, the ability to give access rights to different parties for different types of data, and the ability to link the different data together. Ideally, the common data environment must be provided by the project client and made available to all intervening parties. The reason is that the CDE must be operational right from the initial phases. The client is the one who is present in all phases and who is most interested in having all the information available. Therefore, the client should be the one to provide the common data environment. If the common data environment is implemented only at the later stages of the project, for example during the construction stages, it may not be able to deliver its full value, since the CDE starts in the use stage late in the project, and traceable information from the earliest phases will have been lost. The clients will have as many common data environment as works in the project, currently without the possibility of managing them from a single interface. The ability to continue using the CDE throughout the asset's operational phase may not be there. So when do we open or create the CDE? The CDE must open at the very beginning or very start of the project, when more than one interested party needs to manage relevant documents of the project. A user guide must also be provided that includes a document with a document naming criteria and file creation and editing permission. When do we close the CDE? The closure of a CDE depends on the characteristics of the client, given its importance as an asset of the organization. We can make a backup copy of all the managed documentation to have the CDE permanently operational throughout the life of the asset, finding scenarios such as the following. The client only executes a project and does not plan to exploit the asset, such as residential development for sale. In this case, the CDE can close after the building is received. Or, the client executes the project and transfers the operation of the asset to another stakeholder. In the case of a building that is sold to an investor for its use under a rental system. The rental manager can operate with the information available in the security copy and open a new CDE or continue with the one used throughout the previous phases of the project. Or, the client has a wide portfolio of projects and is responsible for their use, as in the case of a public administration. It is advisable that the CDE be unique and that it be permanently open and available to all interested parties for such case. So, what are the necessary conditions in order for a CDE to be successfully used by a project? You can group it down into 4 areas to look into. The area of data, the area of people, the area of technology, and the area of processes. We will look into these 4 areas in a bit more detail in the next few slides. Let's look at data. BIM projects usually produce a large amount of data in different formats, including single 3D models or partial models of different disciplines, for example architectural, structural, M&E, or sub-projects, and in different versions and combinations. Various types of 2D drawings and reports generated from the models, as well as all separately created documents and specifications must be managed. BIM processes also integrate schedules, costs and quantities, or environmental data. When dealing with so many different types of data and sources, it is important to state very clearly information requirements so all parties know what input they need in order to provide the data in a form that is acceptable and interoperable. Under the area of processes, in a BIM project, all stakeholders participate actively and they have specific roles and responsibilities which define the level of interaction throughout the whole project lifecycle. The collaborative process needs to be broken down into specific actions and quality control checks established and communicated with the teams. Who delivers what? Who reviews? Under what circumstances a piece of information is rejected or established or published, for example. The sequence of processes must be very clear and designed right from the beginning and communicated to all parties so they know what to do. Let us look at technology next. There are quite a few authoring and checking tools available, so each organization needs to ensure that it counts on the most appropriate ones to create and check the BIM information. In addition, when it comes to collaboration processes, organizations need to carefully select the necessary software to manage the BIM information in a collaborative manner among all the engaged parties. Let's look at the last factor, people. All technology and working methodologies relies on how people are interacting in the project and the commitment of the whole organization. To ensure a successful BIM implementation, any project team or organization shall set very clear goals and expectations and communicate them and show the support offer to make sure that things work according to what has been stated. When defining the roles and responsibilities of each participant, it is advisable to highlight individual contributions and interdependent nature of the success. BIM is about collaboration. The constant input or import and export of data in the CDE requires a strong coordination commitment among all the stakeholders. Working on joint data requires also for a clear structuring on the copyright or ownership of the information created and on the liability part. It is important to define who has control of this information, which is the basis for the asset. People need to acquire the right set of knowledge through constant training. Training should go beyond technical knowledge. It should focus on project and change management skills. Any new technology and working methods will also require the participants to learn them through the learning curve. The size of a project does not influence the BIM model or determine the kind of CDE, because the use of CDE is essential to manage any BIM project, whatever the size. In general, the amount of information managed and stored by CDE is not a limitation or a hindrance. What can be influential when choosing a suitable commercial solution is the cost of the solution in relation to project parameters such as the number of participants with access to the information, the budget for the work, the number of projects to be managed simultaneously with the same platform. At the current stage of technological development, it is very difficult to try to work using just one single model, since it does not guarantee the responsibilities of each interested party or the use of different authoring tools. For example, you can model the architecture of a project with a tool A and use tool B for its air conditioning installation because it is the most appropriate, or tool C for the structural model since it allows us to connect with the workshop manufacturing solution, and it is the most likely that the native formats of programs A, B, and C are different and incompatible with each other. So the use of open standard interchange format such as IFC is the right way to go. the open BIM ecosystem.